Kia ora team, and welcome back to another edition of Big Boys Boxing Live. If you'd like to get on the panel, come and talk some boxing, simply hit the Discord server invite in the description. Go to the voice channel named Live Panel, click it, and you're on. It's that simple. So without further ado, let's do this. What is up, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing for another edition of Live. I'm Jono, your host, and as per usual, I'm going to play a New Zealand song to promote a little bit of New Zealand music. So check this one out. Some of y'all may recognize the song. Used to have a part of it on my old intro on KiwiBox, and it is called Doing My Thing by an artist called Tipene, and it is featuring another New Zealand artist called Scribe. So let's go.
Hawks Bay. Yeah, boy. T-Bennett, babe. Nah, Scribble the Crusader. Yeah. Nah, yeah, man, they thought they saw the brother on stage, just saw the undercover. He ripping that boom to the bap, that hip hop in the rap, and leaving the rap goons all exhumed with the whack eye. Ripping hard that Bodie style. Hastings, they can't believe he's not Seagal. Fair skin, but not quite the Natsu cow. Out, like mama said, knock you out. Coming with the coarse flow, but the washed up rappers more so. Got your toe tapping like Morse code through your feet. Sending out a SOS, got Zom on the beat. MC, I was born for the beats. With more bars on the farm full of sheep. Now I got it all within the arm's reach. Man, I take it to him and then know it's deep and it teeps. And I'm just doing my thing.
Scribe, yo. Shout out to my brother from another mother, T-Penny, baby. 06 to 03.
My thing.
Christchurch, where you at? Flex, man, we up in here.
I'm just doing my
Real,
thing.
we doing our thing.
Yeah,
My grandparents jumped on a boat for a dream they were trying to keep afloat. 50 years later, what's the grandson made it? Now I'm riding down the road in my BMW. I ride it for my nana who to come for some more. Throwing up Louis Futu to a tongue low. And all you really know is that I got sick flows. And I'm not a moldy, I just got a big nose. To get that clear, got these raps here, got me doing my things for can it be the flex near. And I got all of these pussycats scared, cause they know I kinda test them all like a pet smear. Ooh yeah, bo, I'm doing my thing. I never knew when I grew up I'd sing. Who knew I would come true in my dreams? Never knew when I blew up that I would be king. Ha! Just doing my thing.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm just doing my thing. Yeah, boy. I'm just doing my thing.
Ha! We're just doing our thing. Just doing our thing. T-Bennett. Let them know.
And if I hadn't known, I'd be in this world standing alone, planning my own future, me and my microphone, just a place where I could roam free. Without whole hearts, I was being nosy, smiling at me with those teeth. For society, finally says goodbye to me, it hurts inside. The only hope lies in winning the lottery, it kinda frightens me. Knowing our people's prophecy, just what out, I'm gonna tell he really decided to be making mockery. So I'm stoking the fire seed, Marty them is the pride, but still alive inside of me. Everywhere I go, I got spiritual company, my tool, put the gods, my life which inspires me to breathe. I plant the seed to a tall, to the tree, let it grow to its fullest maturity, what time it needs. The blessing of time and tongue at all, and tough for the medicine is cover bucket and navigate the seven seas. I send so I keep it on a Pacific breeze, give my remotely tongue by any specific means. Like a strike from a tire heart, I keep my lyrics clean. This fuck MCs don't know what an explicit means. Only rap is pure as water, uplifted in steam. Over time the instincts be slightly twisted in our genes. Hard to kick it and mend it, when it's splitting at the seam is deep in it. The true representative of Maori and I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing and I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing our thing. We're just doing our thing. Just doing our thing. T-Bennett, let them know. La la la. Yeah, boy. Zone beats, boy.
Zone beats, boy. Quite like that song, man. I really do. But yo, we get some background music going. I'll open up the lines in a minute. And we get some boxing talk going. So I watched a couple of pretty good fights over the weekend. The best fight that I saw over the weekend was I can't remember his first name, Abuelita and Jason Velez, I think his name is. Man, those dudes threw a shitload of punches, over 1,800 punches in a fight. This was the third fight before Gary Russell Jr. versus old Tug Stud Nyombe. Before that was Gary Russell Jr. and the guy Solis. Oh no, it was Guillermo Rigondeaux actually against Solis, sorry. And Gary Russell Jr. fought before. Oh, he was the main event. Where's Tug Start? So yeah, this Abuelita versus Velez fight. Dudes didn't really have much defense, but they were throwing, man. It was an awesome fight to watch. Absolutely awesome. Alright, so I also watched the Dave Allen fight, of course. I predicted that one exactly and won money on that one. 3-round demolition of Dorian Darch. I think Dorian Darch is pretty much got to hang up the gloves now. I think he's done, man. He is done. Also, Kid Galahad got a win over, what's his name? Moreno. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. So he moves forward as well. Didn't really watch a lot of that UK card. I watched Cal Brook and Mark DeLuca as well, and that one kind of went as expected, so no surprises there. Guillermo Rigondeaux making his debut at 118. He's gone way down at his age, which is rather unusual, but his opponent is also 37 years old, and Solis, so yeah, extremely defensive was Rigondeaux, and a bit of a snooze fest really. The first round, I think that was the fight. I can't even remember. I'm getting them all mixed up now. One of them, I think it was Rigondeaux. Solis was the first round was pretty good. Wow, that must have been Solis and dang, I can't even remember. All cross-fading in my head. Getting too old for this shit. But anyways, I will drop a link in the chat. That's not it. That is not the right link. There is a link in the description. So it's the Discord chat link. Let's see if I can find it here and paste it again in the chat. Right. Copy link address. That's the one. I should be able to paste that in there now. Now it comes up with the YouTube thing. Fuck. Punk piece of shit. Oh, there's the link in the description anyway. To come and join the panel. And I will show you how to join. It's real easy. So get my browser up. There you go. Now check out. You just go over here to this live panel. Click on that, and you're in. just like that. And if at any stage you want to mute down the bottom here, just hit that. That opens it up again. So I'm in the chat room. Anybody else wants to come and join? There is a subject I want to get into today about Tyson Fury and the changes he's made. I've noticed a few people who don't like Tyson Fury have been saying, if you're so good, why do you need to make all these changes? So I'd like to get into that, but I want to leave that subject until we get some panel members in here. So go ahead, hit that link in the description, and then hit that live panel voice channel link, and you'll be in. Easy as that. So back to here. I've got so many windows open, I'm getting lost. That's the news link. There we go. Alright, we back. Alright, so roll call. We got Blackout, and we got Unboxing Fan in the chat. Good to have you all in so far. Hopefully we'll get some more joining. I noticed there's a few guys live at the moment, so maybe a bit of a quiet show today. Some good news. I've been in touch with the opponent for Joseph Parker, being Shondell Winters, and he says he's going to give me an interview at some stage before the fight, so stay tuned to the channel for that. Hopefully I'll get that done in the next couple of days. I'd like to get a bit more background on Shondell Winters. A lot of people have been saying he's only had 2 fights at heavyweight. That's not a fact. He's had quite a few fights at heavyweight. He's had a few at cruiser as well. But a lot of the fights that have been at heavyweight, he's weighed under 200 pounds. Okay, so you can still fight at heavyweight if you're over 200 pounds or under 200 pounds. You don't have to be over 200 pounds to fight. So it is what it is. I have no doubt the dude's coming to fight. He's coming to try and win. And at the moment, he's got 2 big upsets in his last 2 fights. Sergey Waweko and Alexander Teslenko. He was not supposed to beat those guys, and he stopped both of them. So this guy does have a punch. Overhand right is a big punch. He's got a very quick jab too, if you go and watch some of his fights. So there could be some issues. I don't think he's got quick enough feet in some respects, but there was another fight prior to his last 2 fights that was an upset as well. A guy called Joe Jones, he fought undefeated. He fought him at heavyweight and got knocked down 3 times in the fight, but still came back to win the fight. So that was a true test of Shondell Winters' heart, and he passed with flying colours. So we could have a bit of a fight on our hands, even though most of us don't really know who Shondell Winters is. There is a copy of the Joe Jones fight on YouTube as well, but it's not a broadcast recording. It's someone on a cell phone, but it's not too bad a recording. You can get a good idea of how he looks. So it is what it is. You got 3 watching, 4 likes. Okay, so maybe I will get into this Tyson Fury topic myself if nobody's gonna join. Now Tyson Fury, as we know, has changed coaches. Firstly, I guess I better start with why has Tyson Fury made all these changes. And I'll start with the statement that I've been hearing around certain channels. If he's so good and he won 10 rounds to 2, why does he want to make all these changes? Well, you know, how am I going to put this? I'll put it in an analogy somehow. Look, so say I started playing, what's an individual sport that's not boxing? I started playing tennis, right? And I was good enough to make it into a pro tournament. And I blasted everyone out. So I went to Wimbledon. I got allowed to play in Wimbledon. And I smoked everybody out in there. But the last match in the final was a tough match. Would I not want to be better? Even if I was really good? Now in Tyson Fury's situation, dude's never had a real boxing coach. Never. Started with his Uncle Huey, right? And his Uncle Huey tragically died. So his Uncle Peter started training him. Neither of these guys had been qualified boxing coaches in the past for pros. Then he had Ben Davison, right? A 24-year-old dude with hardly any experience, and he is a qualified personal trainer. So, if anything, he's a qualified strength and conditioning coach. But he's not a qualified boxing coach, right? But Tyson Fury managed to beat Vladimir Klitschko, take those 3 belts away from him. Then he had his trouble. Got fat, and Ben Davison helped him out with strength and conditioning. And he's obviously got some knowledge about boxing, but got him back into shape. Got him through a couple of tune-up fights in Sefer Safari and Francesco Pianeta. Then got into a big fight with Deontay Wilder. Now, personally, I thought Tyson Fury did win that fight. I can't remember my exact score. I think I had like 115, 113. Something like that. With the knockdowns, I can't remember the calculations. But anyway, I gave Deontay Wilder the 2 rounds that he knocked Tyson Fury down. And definitely gave him 1 extra round. And there was another round there that was close, could have gone either way. So at best, we give Tyson Fury 4 rounds. Deontay Wilder 4 rounds. But I thought it was 3 rounds. So I had Tyson Fury winning by... was it 1 point maybe? I can't remember. I thought it was 2 points. But either way, I thought Tyson Fury won. And he achieved all this without having a real boxing coach. Then he didn't take that rematch. He ducked that rematch. I will say that loud and clear. Tyson Fury did duck the immediate rematch. He signed with Top Rank and took on 2 more supposed to be tune-up fights. Took on Tom Schwartz, blasted him out in 2 rounds, and then took on Otto Wallen. And personally, I thought that fight was going to go similar to the Tom Schwartz fight. I thought it might go a couple rounds more. But it ended up a mess with Tyson Fury getting cut, Otto Wallen landing on it all night. The fight probably should have been stopped, but it wasn't. Went the distance, Tyson got the win. Then this rematch starts getting talked about. You know, Tyson was saying before he even fought Otto Wallen that it was going to be February 22nd. So he decides, even as lineal champ, the man who beat the man, and in most people's eyes, he beat Deontay Wilder as well, plus 2 tune-ups. Did all that without having a real boxing coach. He wants to be better. He wants more tools in his toolbox. And he's now got a coach who is experienced. Extremely experienced. Spent a lot of time with his uncle Emmanuel Stewart in the camps of Vladimir Klitschko. Probably even as a kid spent some time in the gym around Lennox Lewis as well. Dude knows what he's on about. And don't get your wires crossed either. Tyson Fury did not fire Ben Davison. He wanted to keep Ben Davison on as head coach, but still have Sugar Hill in there as more input, experienced head. But to me, it looks like Ben Davison didn't, or maybe felt threatened, or didn't want to be undermined, or whatever. He walked. He chose to leave. So Tyson Fury having a new head coach wasn't exactly his choice. But having an experienced head behind you when you've never had one before, employing new techniques, new strategies, possibly teaching Tyson how to not slap so much with his punches, particularly the left hook. He's terrible with slapping with it. If he can turn the knuckle over and put some weight into a left hook, that could be a punch that could stop Deontay Wilder. And all these things are to make Tyson better. No matter how good he thinks he is, or how good anyone else thinks he is it not good for him to try and be better than he was? These guys who are saying, if you're so good and you smoked Deontay Wilder the first time around, why do you need to be better? It sounds to me like they're scared that Tyson's going to get better. Do they not want the best to fight the best? You know? I, personally, if I was Tyson Fury, and I'd never had a real boxing coach before, I would want to be better. I would want to have some experience behind me. I would want to have extra knowledge firsthand behind me. It makes no sense to me that these guys are dogging Tyson Fury for making changes. Now, what I will say is I don't think the timing's quite right. It would have been better for Tyson to make these changes maybe before, but even after the Tom Schwartz fight would have been a good time for him to maybe settle the new coach in. Leaving it until 3 months before the big fight, I don't know if that's such a good idea, but it's done now and everything seems comfortable. Everybody seems happy in the camp. You know, I did see something this morning that said Tyson Fury thinks he's in the best shape of his life. I highly doubt that. I honestly highly doubt that. The shape he was in against Vladimir Klitschko was phenomenal for him and his body shape. So yeah, it is what it is to me. I don't think it's a big deal, and I don't think people should be afraid of watching a good boxer possibly get better due to improvements or upgrading a coach. Honestly, I don't get why these guys are moaning and bitching about it. Are they scared that their man might get beaten by Tyson Fury? And don't get me wrong here, I'm still actually picking Deontay Wilder by knockout. It's hard not to. I want Tyson to win. I'll be rooting for Tyson. But I can't deny the fact that Deontay Wilder has that one punch damage and he can do it at any time throughout a fight. just having a quick read through some of these comments here. Thlimus Lofi. I hope I'm saying that right now, brother. See, Tyson Fury's Instagram comments are balanced. Are blocked. Hard case. Marla in the house, good to have you in, brother. Gonna be a great fight. Nothing wrong with bringing in a new trainer. No, I agree, man. And initially, when he brought in Sugar Hill, he was going to be like the secondary coach anyway. It was Ben Davison's choice to walk. He fucking quit. So these people saying Tyson fired his coach, they're fucking liars, man. Straight out liars. Yeah, professional athletes should always strive to be better. Scott 70 in the house. Good to have you in, brother. If anybody wants to join, there is a link in the description. It takes you straight to the voice channel. But also, like I've mentioned in the past, there is a link on the channel banner to join the server. And the server has other stuff in it as well. So I could just give you a quick run through of what I've got on the server so far, because there's some other stuff on there that I've started posting as well. So just give me a sec here, find the server. Here we go. And switch over to Chrome. Boom, there we go. So over on the server here, here's the voice channels here. I'm in there obviously. It's called Live Panel. That's where you go. I've also got another voice channel here for anytime chat. That's just offline anytime. But up here we've got the general chat. This is where I post. Everybody can talk about anything boxing in here. This is just general chat, as the title suggests. This other one here, I've got a live fight links. So when I have a link for a fight that I can't post on YouTube because I will get stung for it, I post them here. So if you want to watch a fight that's coming up, if I've got a stream, or if anybody else has stream links for fights, they can come and post them here and you can go and watch them. This info one here is just about the channel and so on and so forth. So hit that link that's on the channel banner, you'll see it up the top, and it will send you to this Discord where you can do lots of stuff. Find fight links, talk boxing, all that good shit. Alright, so out of here. And get that back up. There we go. Alright, so the other fight on the weekend, the heavyweight dust up, was Dave Allen versus Dorian Darch. It was kind of a comeback tune-up sort of fight for Dave Allen, and he got away with it within 3 rounds. The first couple of rounds were to and froing. The second round, Dorian Darch got knocked down. He managed to make it out of the round. We've got Ashley Gray in the house. How are you today, brother? Are you there? Can't hear you, brother. Is your mic plugged in? Just a moment here, I'll make sure you're not muted or anything like that. Ashley, are you there, mate? Not sure why I can't hear you at the moment. Says you're in there. Let me know in the live chat, Ashley, if you're talking and I can't hear you. Something going on here. Not sure why it's not working. I'll come back to you shortly. Yes, that he's dropped out again. Ashley Gray was in. Yeah, Dave Allen. Yeah, he had his fight against David Price. Ended up stopping on a stool. He took a battering. He's taken plenty of batterings in his career. But came out trying to box a bit. Left hook was doing damage on Dorian Darch. Dropped him in that second round. And Dorian Darch managed to get out of the round. But Dave Allen's coach in the corner was telling him, step on the gas. He came out throwing in the third round. And put Dorian Darch down hard on his back. He sat up at about 6 and then lay back down again. He didn't want no more of that. So when Dave Allen actually steps on the gas, dude can punch, man. I think Dorian Darch has probably got to hang up the gloves now. He's taken a bit too many hidings. It's not really competitive even at British level anymore. And I think maybe that's what Dave Allen should be aiming for if he's going to try and continue boxing for a while. You know, he's had his health problems. People were worried about his health, myself included. So yeah. But Dave Allen, yeah, I think he should be fighting for a British title. I think Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois actually fighting for the British, the Commonwealth and the European. I had to go look that up actually because that's now confirmed for the 11th of April. So I will go and bring that up. Just give me a sec here. Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dynamite Dubois. Man, my computer's slow today. There we go. Daniel Dynamite Dubois. No, my computer's not working. Why is it so slow? Didn't come up. Sure I spelled it right. There we go. Daniel Dubois box rec. Google it instead. It comes straight up. Boom. So, Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. It doesn't say what it's for yet. All it says is O2 Arena Greenwich. That sucks. That does suck. But that's a great fight, man. that is a great fight. I'm pretty sure they don't have anything confirmed for the card yet. We'll bring it up and have a look. Nah, it's the only thing they've got on here so far. At this stage, I'm going to pick Daniel Dubois, but this may change getting closer to the fight. I've watched almost all of Daniel Dubois' fights and watched pretty much I'm pretty sure I watched all of Joe Joyce's fights as pros. Seen plenty of Joe Joyce in the amateurs as well. He's been in the ring with plenty of top opposition, but when he comes across the top guys, he doesn't knock guys out. I mean, he's a heavyweight, and sure, he hits hard. He's got thudding punches, but there's so many of them. By the later rounds, you wonder how much power is behind them. He's slower than a wet week. But yeah, like I say, he's got plenty of stamina. He's got plenty of volume. If the fight goes the distance, I'd probably end up picking Joe Joyce to win, because he's probably going to throw a lot more punches than Daniel Dubois. But the accuracy of Daniel Dubois and the power of Daniel Dubois is likely to stop the fight around round 8, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Hopefully we're going to have a decent undercard as well. Frank Warren's put it on BT Sport pay-per-view, and he's upped the price to $24.95 to match what UK viewers paid to watch Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. 2. Bear in mind though, at least that Saudi Arabia card had a pretty damn good undercard as well. That Michael Hunter versus Alexander Povetkin fight that was on there was a cracker. Ended up a draw. That should have been run back. Dillian White last minute opponent Marius Wok. I don't think that fight should have been on there. It turned out to be a bit competitive though, because Dillian White was out of shape. So it's going to be interesting to see what Frank Warren puts on this card to make it pay-per-view worthy, and make it worthy of upping the price from a normal $19.95 to $24.95. Yeah, he's going to cop a lot of criticism as it is for upping the price, but we'll see when this card announcement comes out how good, or whether it's going to be worth paying that much to see it. And I see Boxing Squared did a video about Joe Joyce the other day. He's switching and changing coaches like underwear. So is he not finding the right coach to suit him, or is he just trying to get more input from everywhere around the planet? I don't know what's going on there. What are you guys talking about? Luis Ortiz hit him so hard he couldn't get reception for weeks. What the hell are you guys talking about here? Marla's picking Dubois as well. I mean, the youth and the power and the accuracy for Daniel Dubois should win out on the day, but I don't know, if Joe Joyce can manage to land a couple of punches on Dubois and get him hurt, we're not sure how good Daniel Dubois is going to cope with being rocked. But I think if Joyce is going to do that, he's going to have to do it early, before he starts, before his volume starts taking a bit of sting out of his punches. Oh, yeah, it was Luis Ortiz hitting Dave Allen there. He should not have been in the ring with Luis Ortiz. Man, that's like throwing a sheep into a pack of wolves. But that wasn't the only big hiding he took. When he fought Tony Yoka, Dave Allen, he got the shit beaten out of him badly. And he was having dizzy spells for weeks after that. The biggest downfall for Dave Allen really is his defense. His chin is his defense. He's got an uncrackable chin, that lad. It's not good for his health though, eh? It's one of the reasons I'd like to see him hang him up. I don't want to see the dude not being able to talk. He's a nice fella. Everybody likes Dave Allen. If you don't like Dave Allen, then you're a weirdo. You know? So yeah. Should Dave blame Ortiz? I think Yoka did more damage to him than Ortiz did, to be honest. Yoka beat him down all night. Joyce has a big engine. He sure does. But I don't know about KO power at elite level in later rounds for Joe Joyce. That's a problem, I think. I mean, like I say, he's a big dude. He hits hard. He puts weight behind his punches. But he misses so many because he's so slow. You gotta think, you try throwing 20 punches, 20 big power punches at mid-air and see how tired you feel after just 20 power shots. I've got Joyce to win this. What method have you got there, Slimas? You got Joyce on points. Or do you think he's going to stop the war? Yeah, Ortiz did want the ref to stop it because he was beating the living shit out of Dave Allen and he wasn't going down. It's like cruelty. Watching that fight is like watching cruelty. Dave Allen should not have been in there with Luis Ortiz. He should not have been in there with Tony Yoka either. And I'm going to have a look. I think there's other fights that he should not have been in. But he got thrown in there because he's got a good chin. Just got to refresh my memory on who else he's fought. Dave Allen. David Price fight is more like his level, I think. Just looking, that fight that he had against that Bracamonte guy, that was actually a good fight. That's more his level too. Samir Nebo, nah, that was below his level. Nick Webb, that's his level. That's another fight I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch of, actually. Now that Nick Webb's got a bit of confidence after winning that Ultimate Boxer series. Nick Webb, Dave Allen, eliminator for a British title. Good idea. There it is, Tony Yoka. No, he should not have been in there with Tony Yoka. Eddie Hearn should be ashamed for putting him in there with him. David Howell, that was funny, that fight. David Howell, that was supposed to be like they had a gentleman's agreement that we're not going to try and knock each other out. And Dave Allen threw I think it was an overhand right and sparked him the fuck out. Whoops. Sorry, bro. Didn't think I hit that hard.
Jono?
We got Marlon in the house. How are you today, brother?
Good, mate.
That's the one, bro. That's the one. Did you catch any boxing over the weekend?
Yeah, I watched Dave Allen's fight, which is pretty. I cringe when I see him in the ring, man. He's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, man. I agree.
Health wise, I really cringe watching him.
It kind of makes me wonder. His comments just before this fight, he was saying to everybody who was worried about his health, "Don't worry, I'm okay." But it wasn't that long ago. He was telling everybody he's having dizzy spells and getting thrown in there with two tougher opponents and copping bashings. So
he's got.
There you go.
his level of boxing. I mean, if they keep throwing him in against guys like Price and stuff like that, yeah, he is going to pay for it in the end.
Yeah.
He's just a punching bag against those guys, you know.
Did you see his post-fight interview that he did, talking about the British Board of Boxing Control making sure that he was 100% fit?
Yeah, they went over him and they passed him. But yeah, for what that's worth.
I think, yeah, it's still a worry, eh? Even though he's got that clean bill of health, surely getting that many big punches to the head, having your face swelled up and looking like you've been through a war, through a lot of your fights, it's got to take its toll, even if it's not coming up on MRIs and whatnot. Man,
That's the thing, because that I don't know what they call it, that brain disease that the gridiron players have been showing up with. Is it TPI or something? TB. There's a name for it,
okay.
but it doesn't show up in the scans.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's also things like Parkinson's and whatnot. You know, Muhammad Ali suffered from it as well. No one else in his family's got it. Shit like that doesn't seem to show up until it's already there.
Oh, that's right. It's a sleeper, eh? It just creeps up on you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't like watching the guy fight, eh? I'm surprised the promoters don't just say to him, look, mate, we'll give you a job in the sport. If you want to be involved in boxing.
He'd probably make an okay commentator. You know?
Yeah, But I just feel as a fighter, like he's a fan favorite, like he's the underdog. Yeah. So people, they root for him in that, but at what price is it gonna, come?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you're picking Daniel Dubois for the fight between him and Joyce. Have you got a method there? Do you think he's gonna stop him?
No, I think it'll be unanimous decision. I think he'll beat him on points. He's a pretty tough guy, Joyce. He seems to have a good chin, so I think Dubois is going to hit him, and I think Joyce is probably going to stand here and look at him. I think it's going to be one of those fights where Dubois is going to have to work hard for it, but I think he should be. He's a big guy, Dubois. He should be the quicker of the two. And, hopefully stamina is always interesting when you see a young fighter come up and they find themselves in a hard fight where they can't knock their opponent out and they've got to go the distance. That's always a question, but I'm backing Dubois to win it on unanimous decision.
Okay. I'm backing him for a stoppage, but the reason for that is Joe Joyce has been stopped in the amateurs. Sergey Kuzmin stopped him in one round.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm thinking when he gets against a guy who's quicker than him, which is most, but also someone at elite level who can punch pretty damn hard, could be a problem. But, it's only once he got stopped. He did get stopped on his feet, I believe, from memory, in the amateurs. So, yeah, it's still a very interesting fight, and I think if it does go the distance, it could go to Joe Joyce based on his volume, but we'll see how good Dubois' defense is against somebody who throws so many punches. He hasn't been in there with somebody like that before. So
it is a step up for him, eh? It's a good test at this point in his career. I'm just bringing up Dubois' boxing rec. Did you watch Gary Russell's fight?
Yes, I did. I watched 3 fights on there. The Gary Russell fight was interesting. The guy he was fighting kind of stepped on it in the last few rounds, and I thought there was a chance he might get a closer decision. I saw one of the judges gave it 118 to 110. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you get that?
I had it. I gave him about 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I just felt at times he was on the outside and he looked like he was really struggling with Russell's speed, and like he was doing the odd little good punch here and there during the round, but he wasn't doing enough consistently through the rounds to win them. I felt that was a problem for him, but he did step on the gas. One round he had Russell rocked. Was it the 10th?
There
was one round he really hurt.
It was one of those.
Yeah, he really hurt him. He really hurt him, and then he started. I think he actually Russell's speed really had him a little bit bamboozled early in the fight, but by in the last 4 rounds of the fight, I think he had adjusted to the speed.
Yeah, I think also
So,
Russell slowed down considerably compared to what he was in those first few rounds. Because man, that boy is fast, eh? He is fast.
Yes.
Those triple
He is,
jabs,
man.
he could pump out a triple jab in the time that most people would jab once and try to jab a second time. You know, he is fast. But it made me go back and watch the Russell versus Lomachenko fight again afterwards, because after watching him against somebody who's so slow, it's hard to imagine that Lomachenko would have been anywhere near him with speed. But then I went back and watched and said, okay, yeah, they're very similar in speed. So it's just Gary Russell needs to put a bit more on his punches when he's throwing them so fast. Hey. But it was a pretty decent fight.
Yeah, the other guy's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I just felt, it took him a little bit to sort of. Well, he'd only had, I think, about 11 fights. So that was his 12th pro fight. So he's quite an inexperienced fighter. So he didn't actually do that badly.
No, he didn't.
But I just felt, just that's the speed was pretty dazzling from Russell early on. Yeah. And he was struggling. The other guy, he was struggling to get in and really get anything going. And I think that did hurt him on the scorecards.
Yeah.
But 2 rounds was a joke, mate.
I thought he got 3 or maybe 4 at best. I still think the right man won, obviously, but
yeah, definitely. I gave him about 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But he's a good fighter. It was only his 12th pro fight, so no doubt we'll be seeing him again.
Oh, we will, for sure. Tugstat Nayombe is his name. There was a couple of other fights on that card. Did you see Rigondel's fight? Guillermo Rigondeaux? He's the 39-year-old, eh?
Yeah, Cuban.
He was
30. Rigo. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, he got the decision.
Yeah.
A few boos from the crowd, but
it's pretty much a standard thing with Rigo, because he's a defensive master. We'd like to see more offense from him, but if his opponent isn't throwing, then they're just standing there looking at each other, taunting each other. So,
yeah.
Liborio Solis was his opponent's name.
Yeah, Solis. Yeah.
He's also.
I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to knock Solis out.
Yeah, so did I.
There was one point in the fight I thought, oh god, he's going to get him.
Yeah,
but Solis survived.
He did put him down once. Is that right? I think he put him down once.
And he had him on the rope. Yeah, because he had him on the ropes. The ropes held him up, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
He had him really.
He bounced off the ropes going down, and the ref called it a knockdown. Yeah, that's right.
He had him really hammered. I thought, geez, he's going to take him, but the guy survived.
Managed to get out of the round. Yeah, that was an achievement in itself. I thought Rigo would have jumped on him and got him finished, but wasn't the case.
No, there was that other fight too. One guy I think was 29-5, and he was fighting the upcoming prospect who was about 15-1.
Yeah,
and the prospect actually got knocked down later in the fight.
12th round, was it?
It was.
I think it was.
I'm not sure, but it was tough. It was tough. I think it might have been the last. It was tough, eh?
Yeah,
that was a tough
Jamie Abalade was the prospect guy. He had a loss early on in his career and has come back. He was expected to win this one, but his opponent, Jason Valles, man, does that boy show some heart. The first few rounds, I thought, okay, this is interesting, but I thought Valles looked like he was going to get beaten down within 6, but he kind of poured it on. Neither of them have very good defense, but man, was that an entertaining fight to watch. Holy
it was good, eh?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think that was the fight of the day for the whole globe, I think.
You see the young prospect, his promoter was talking to him after the fight. They would have been relieved to have got through it.
Oh yeah,
Man, it was tough. Yeah, you don't want too many fights like that, man. That was tough.
it was.
You know,
Was it for any kind of belt or anything? Where is it? I had it here. Abalade. There we go.
you there, John? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm just looking at Dubai's record. He's gone 10 rounds with Kevin Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah. Most go the distance.
And I wonder,
Kevin Johnson, but a few
yeah,
stopped them.
yeah, the fight with Joyce is a 12 rounder, so he should be able to go the 12 as long as he's in shape.
Yeah, well, from what I heard, it's for the European title at the very least, but it could be for the Commonwealth and the British title as well. So there's a whole lot of belts that'll give the winner a whole lot of push in the rankings, whoever wins. But great fight. Let's hope Frank doesn't pull out if ticket sales aren't going great for the O2. He's done it before. Yeah. I've been talking to a few guys from the UK, and they seem to think that maybe it might not even sell out. But I think a lot will depend on the card, what's on the card. There's nothing confirmed yet. So, and Frank pushing up the price as well. Did you hear about that? He's pushed the pay-per-view up to $24.95 rather than the standard $19.95 in the UK. So there's a lot.
I did actually read that. Sorry, I did read that. Yeah.
So there's a few.
Gee, the fans won't be too happy about that.
No.
I wonder what that will make it in. Let's see.
Maybe that's a push to get people to actually go to the fight to try and sell it out rather than sit at home and buy it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
Looking for what would that be? About 50 New Zealand dollars. Be a fair bit, wouldn't it?
I'll do a quick conversion on Google. What did I say? 24.
Yeah, 50 New Zealand dollars. That works out at.
Yeah, 48.33 New Zealand dollars.
Much?
Wow, 48.33. Yeah, $48.33.
Expensive. They won't be happy.
That is expensive.
There's still a lot of people who still pay it.
Oh,
It was like us when Parker was fighting, man.
Appreciate
we
the
got
holla
hosed
with
when he
the
fought
dollar.
Maurice for $60. We still paid. I used to just bring people around the house. We'd have about 5 of us there and throw in some money.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, eh? That's the way to do
Just
it.
make it cheap.
Just got a
Looking at
carry on, mate.
looking at an article here. One of Joseph Parker's people have been banned from America for 5 years. A key member of his entourage and banned from the US for 5 years.
No shit. That's harsh. Wow.
Yeah.
We had a donation from Tommy Temper. Appreciate that, brother. And if anybody hasn't already, make sure you get over to his channel. Check out some of his memes. They're funny as shit, man. Funny as shit. Alright, so did you hear what I was ranting on about before about Tyson Fury making his changes?
Yeah. I heard a little bit about that. Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's a bad move, or I noticed there's a lot of people. Oh, you do that part first, and then we'll move on to another part of the question.
I don't know why people are going on about it. Fighters change trainers all the time. I mean, I remember Evander Holyfield when he lost the first fight with Riddick Bowe. He'd been with the Duvers his whole career, but he went with Emmanuel Stewart for the rematch with Bowe. So sometimes fighters just feel like, you're going into a big fight. He knows Wilder's going to be bringing it. He knows, it's a really serious fight. He wants to give himself the best opportunity. And if he felt like going with a new trainer to try and bring some new things into his arsenal, why not?
Yeah. I don't get why these guys are saying, if you're so good, why do you need to change everything? So, to be better?
Yeah.
Even if you're good,
Yeah.
why do you not want to be better?
Like any professional athlete, you're always striving. It doesn't matter whether it's tennis players, rugby players, boxing, whatever. They're always, as professional athletes, striving for that extra 1%, because that extra 1% can be the difference between winning and losing.
Well, if we look back, Wilder Fury 1, that 1% would have made a difference, wouldn't it? It wouldn't have been a draw.
Yeah.
And that goes for Deontay Wilder as well, He's got it firm in his mind that he wants to be loyal to the coaches he's got, the team he's got. He doesn't want to change anything. That's up to him. I don't think anybody's giving him flack about staying with the same guy, even though there's many on the planet that think Deontay's skills need a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the coaches he's got obviously haven't been able to get it into his head how to better his style or better his technique. And why isn't everyone going, you should change trainers because they're not doing the job for you?
When you look at Wilder, he's been a pro for 10 years or so. His left hook should be a lot better than what it is after 10 years.
Yeah, well, I will say it has gotten a bit better, but it's still far from what it could be.
Yeah.
With the amount of power he's got, if he had good punch technique in both hands, holy shit.
Yep. Yeah, if he could get that left hook going like his right hand, jeez.
Yeah, man. Then people might actually
lethal.
be scared of him.
Yeah, well, I look at him just throw. Sometimes when he throws the hook, it looks sort of ungainly.
It does,
especially when he throws it to the body. It's not something he's quite got on top of. That's for sure.
Yeah. But do you think Tyson's going to come in and actually try to knock Wilder out in the earlier rounds like he's talking, or is that just tongue-in-cheek?
I don't know. He's so insane, Fury. He might try. He might give it a go. I just don't know. You never know with the guy. Yeah. I actually think he'll be on his bike doing his thing as normal, to be honest. I would be surprised if he does come in there and try to stand with Wilder and go toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
I think he'll really open himself up doing that. And if he does stand and go toe-to-toe, he's going to have to get him behind his punches, man. Really seriously get him behind them and look to put something on Wilder.
Yeah. What I do think we're going to see in a change is I think we're going to see a much stiffer jab this time and a lot more of it. That's something that Kronk fighters definitely seem to work on. Pump that jab in there, and when you double it up or triple it up, they might not have as much on them, but look out because there's a straight right coming down the pipe behind it.
Well, when he fought the first fight with Wilder, his jab was good, and he was throwing those quick 1-2s, and he was getting Wilder with them, and then he was stepping around and making Wilder miss.
Yeah,
he did really well with that.
Yeah.
So I would still love to see Fury, fight from the outside and try to outbox Wilder. I just don't believe this knockout stuff of Fury. Try and outbox him, but he's just got to be alert for that right hand. You know it's coming. That's Wilder's thing.
Yeah.
So he's just got to be alert for that, and don't go to sleep on that right hand, no matter where you are in the fight. Ortiz went to sleep. Literally, but he had 7 good rounds in there. He made one mistake, and he got smoked.
Yeah.
So I think as long as Fury can just keep an eye on that right hand, he could definitely win a points decision. But I don't know if he will be able to. It must be mentally hard, when you're in against Wilder, to just stay absolutely focused on that right, not make one mistake.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to do.
Yeah. Well, Tyson said it himself, particularly in that 12th round where he got knocked down. He was saying he got a bit greedy. He was trying to knock Wilder out, and he did land a good right hand on him prior to that right hand that Wilder landed on him. So, like you say, staying focused for the whole 12 rounds is going to be key. But there's, I think if Tyson is going to knock Wilder out, I think it's going to be from a punch with power that we've never seen before from Fury, being a left hook. He's always slapped with his left hook. And if you go back and watch that first fight, he was actually landing the slap left hook on Wilder quite easily. But if he can, turn his knuckle over and use his weight and his shoulders with that left hook, he could possibly knock Wilder out with that shot. Or at least hurt him. But
get him rocked, knock him down.
Yeah.
If Fury could actually knock Wilder down, even just knock him down and get some 10-8 rounds.
Yeah, well,
it's
it'd kind of be like a safety net for him if he happens to get knocked down and happen to get up again, doesn't it? So
yeah.
But yeah,
I can't wait for that fight. What is it? 2 weeks.
22nd, so 12 days away. Oh, we're the 10th here in New Zealand, so it'll be 11 days away. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I can't wait, mate.
With that fight, with Tyson possibly fighting on the inside, it wouldn't be a bad strategy to take away that long range right hand from Wilder. But is Wilder gonna fight inside as well? You know, he knocked Artur Spilka out on the inside with a short right hand. Or was it left hook?
Even when he knocked Ortiz out in the second fight, it was a closer sort of right. It wasn't a right hand that was right. Yeah. So he's
certainly going to be interesting.
If I was Fury, I would look for the outside fight. I mean, I still feel either go right out or go right in.
Yeah,
because he's a big man, Fury. He could actually try and smother Wilder on the inside.
Yeah.
Try and pick him apart from the outside and then smother him on the inside.
For sure. What do you think about this statement that they're saying he's probably going to come in around 270? Is that going to be too heavy and affect his stamina, or what do you reckon?
Was that 270?
Yeah.
Did you? You just cut out on me a little bit there. Hang on a sec. I just interesting to see what he's actually weighed. Through it's big. That's a lot of weight. But what is he? 6'9"?
Well, he's really 6'8", but
he's 6'8".
Registered as
he was he was 254 against Wallen, 256 against Wilder, 263 against Swartz, 258, 276 against. Gee, that's a lot of weight, man.
It seems
even
little
for
bit,
him.
Yeah. I think about 260 wouldn't be too bad for him, but I think 270's getting a bit far.
I'm looking at all his weights here, and I think 260 would be okay, but 270, man, that's a lot. Is he going to try and knock Wilder out? Does he really mean it? He's coming in at 270 to crack him.
Well, if he's coming in at 270 and it's muscle, he's going to have to get it done within 8 rounds, because he might find himself gassing right out if he's not careful. Depending on the volume of the fight, I guess, too.
Yeah, because Wilder doesn't work that hard.
No.
He doesn't set that tremendous a pace, so that Fury might be able to get away with carrying the extra weight.
Quite possibly.
Boy, it's an intriguing fight, eh?
Yeah.
It really is, man.
I think it's probably going to sell a bit better this time too. I imagine they're going to.
Yeah, they do.
They should crack at least 400, maybe even close to 500 pay-per-views. So, well, that's.
They do the first one, but about 375,
324.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Jeez, that's. You think they would have done more than that? It was a great fight. I mean, they should do $500,000 for this. I think there's a lot more. There's a lot more interest coming into this one because of the first one. So.
Yep. I think they could have done better with the undercard for the pay-per-view version too, pay-per-view portion of the card as well. I mean, Sebastian Fundora versus Daniel Lewis, that's not an eye-opener. Emmanuel Navarrete versus Joe Santanisa. How do I say this? Santissimina, something like that. I mean, that's not appealing to me either. However, there is Washington versus Martin on there that's appealing. I would have thought if you're only going to have 4 fights on the pay-per-view portion, why not make them all heavyweight dust-ups?
Yeah, they could have, had Joseph Parker fighting on that card.
Well, it doesn't even have to be high profile, guys, as long as
just heavyweights.
Heavyweights, but competitive matchmaking for the first 2 fights, I think would be awesome to warm them into what we know is going to be competitive with Washington and Martin as the not the co-main, what do they call it? Like a curtain raiser, the next before the main. So yeah, I don't know. There you go, bro.
I'm just looking at this. Fury weighed 256.5 for the first fight with Wilder, so he's coming in a stone heavier. It's not. It's a lot, eh? It's a lot of weight, man. I don't like it.
I'm not that great with Imperials. Is a stone's 14 pound, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, about 14 pounds. He's becoming in about a stone heavier. Yeah, jeez.
254.
It's a lot of weight,
Wallen.
man.
263 against Schwartz. Yeah, 270's too.
It's Wallen.
270.
He was 254 against Wallen. Yeah, he's too. I think 270 is too much.
Yeah. What was he against Vlad? He was in the low 250s, wasn't he? Right, Francesco Pianetta,
Yeah, 247.
247.
He was
I don't
240.
I don't think we'll ever see him
Yeah.
under 250 again, to be honest. But I think between 255 and 265 max. But that's just my thoughts. So we don't know exactly how he's been training. He's keeping that very hush hush this time. Doesn't want anybody leaking anything about what he's doing in camp, so that kind of suggests he's going to do something a bit different, at least. But,
Yeah, he's that kind of guy. He's got the guts to actually come in and do something different. I think I would love to see him win the fight, and people will say, "Oh, you hate Wilder," and it's not that I hate Wilder. I just love to see Fury win the fight because Fury will fight AJ.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've had, how long's it been? 3 years of them talking about fighting each other, and it hasn't happened, so they can't expect everybody to still be wanting them to make that fight if it hasn't been made in the last 3 years. Where's the hope supposed to be for it ever getting made after that?
The way I looked at it was, if Fury can beat Wilder and take his belt, Fury will fight AJ. Now, if AJ beat Fury, if Wilder wants his belt back, he's going to have to come to AJ to get it.
Yeah. So what do you reckon? Do you think the winner or the loser should request a rematch for this Fury Wilder fight, or should they let Undisputed go first?
Yeah, man, I would let the Undisputed go first, and then if they want to come back for a third fight later down the road, just do it then.
Yeah,
For me, to have to see 2 Wilder Fury fights this year, like if Wilder wins, I would love to see him either fight AJ or Dillian White. I honestly don't think the AJ Wilder fight's ever going to happen.
No.
I just think the PBC know if they lose that belt, they've lost all their leverage in the heavyweight division. You'd have DAZN, Eddie, and Matchroom with all the belts, and PBC don't want to risk it.
If Tyson happens to beat Wilder on the 22nd of February, that come to fruition. So maybe Wilder would want to fight the Undisputed fighter then, if it happened. But I'm personally still not that hopeful that Undisputed will even happen, because I think Joshua's going to get belts stripped off in one way or another before next year. So
he's fighting. Joshua will be fighting Pulev next, and then the winner of Chisora Usyk, and that'll be Joshua for this year. I think he'll probably fight twice.
Yeah. And the WBA is going to be ordering their mandatory in March. So.
March of this year.
Yeah. That becomes a problem as well, you see. So.
Yeah. So unless like the WBO were good, they said they wouldn't strip AJ. They were quite good about it.
That's
the WBA
as long as he fights their mandatory after Pulev, though, eh?
Yeah. He pretty much has to have that Usyk. The winner of Usyk and Chisora.
Yeah. So
it's hard to be undisputed in this day and age, that's for sure.
4 belts really complicates things.
Particularly
in the heavyweight division where everybody's so focused on money because the money's so much bigger. It's really hard to make those fights. So it's shattering for us fans at heavyweight, but we got to deal with it. It might open the door for somebody else to get hold of a belt. You know, maybe Joseph Parker could become 2-time. Who knows?
I'm just looking. Yeah, I'm looking at the WBA, and so Anthony Joshua's the champ. Then you got Mahmoud Shah, and he's got the
regular.
What belts he got? He's got WC by it.
WBA regular. It's the belt he won off Ustinov.
There, John.
Hello. You hear me?
Yeah, dropped off a bit again. So who would AJ, if AJ was fighting as mandatory, is it Trevor Bryan? Is he the mandatory for the WBA?
Well, he should be because he's the interim champion. But because there's so many titles, I don't know if he's interim to Manuel Char's regular belt, or is he interim to Anthony Joshua's super champion belt? Don't know.
Yeah.
And what's Joe Joyce's belt mean? Does it mean anything? I wonder. The gold belt.
The gold one. Yeah, the gold belt. Jesus, what a mess.
Yeah. You know, it was like
a mess.
2.5, 3 years ago, the WBA were trying to sort out a tournament to dissolve belts. And then they go ahead and make another one for Joe Joyce and give him that. Idiots.
Hey, it's terrible, man.
Absolutely.
What have they done to the sport, you know? What have they done to it?
You know, the WBA is the oldest body around than the WBC. But the WBO, if you didn't know, actually was born from the WBA. The two top guys...
What was that, sir?
The WBO was actually born from the WBA.
I didn't know that.
The two top guys who used to run it disagreed. The guy who... Was it Val Cassell? Was it his father? I think it was his father. Was mixed up with the WBA. He went out on his own because the WBA weren't following their own rules, and he wanted to make an organisation that follows rules. So, the WBA for me are looking worse than the WBO right now, even though they're the oldest sanctioning body.
Yeah, they are, man. They are. All those belts. They should just be, if you're the WBA, there should just be the WBA heavyweight belt. That's it.
That's it.
Just one belt, man. So there's no...
The interim title's okay because that's effectively a title given to the mandatory challenger because the actual belt holder is busy, but he's next in line for his mandatory shot, and then the interim gets dissolved. So the interim belts aren't so bad. But these regular and gold belts, they gotta go.
Yeah, man, they're terrible. I'm just looking at the WBA rankings here, and obviously you got Usyk, and he'll has he got the mandatory with the WBO? I think he has, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you got Joseph Parker, then you got Adam Kalnacki, Andy Ruiz Jr., Daniel Dubois. So hopefully Parker hopefully wins this fight coming up and wins it well, and then some of these other guys coming up with the WBO will be keen on fighting him.
Oh, shit.
Names in there.
Yevgeny Romanov's gotten right up there, isn't he? He's number 8 on his.
Yeah, Romanov.
Yeah, he's under Michael Hunter.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't. He still fought nobody. I've heard people say he's on Russian protection program, so he's been coddled
Yeah.
towards the title shot.
Joseph Parker, Michael Hunter would be a good fight. I think Hunter would fight Parker.
I think Hunter will fight Parker, but I don't think Parker will fight Hunter unless it's for something. And it's a common line he's been saying, even against Alexander Usyk. He said, "Yeah, I'm happy to fight him if it's for a world title." You know, there's always if.
Doesn't. He knows he's had. He doesn't want to lose another fight, Parker. He's trying to string together victories, though.
Yeah,
So he doesn't want to risk.
it's got to be worth something. He's only got 3 years of boxing left, and you can't take another shot to go down like that without it being worth his while.
Yeah, he wants another title shot before he goes.
Yeah.
That's so he's being careful. Quite frustrating, really. I want to see him get in the ring with some names again. You know, it was great watching him fight Dillian White and some of these other big guys, and it's sort of this last 18 months has been pretty mediocre.
I'd go as far as saying it was shit. Last 18
it's been
months of crap.
Oh, absolute crap. It's a long time, man. 18 fucking months out of your career just doing nothing.
Yeah, man.
Jeez, you know. Then they announced this latest fight, and I mean, I'm sure the guy is going to show up and give everything he has. I'm sure he will, you know, he will give it everything. But am I excited about it? Not really.
No.
You know, not at all, man.
And
It's just
how much chance of an upset is there? Pretty low percentage, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I was really disappointed. I actually would have. Was it Marius Wack they were lining up?
They were.
I read an article where Kevin Barry said they are having a lot of guys ducking away from fighting Parker. They don't want to get in with him unless there's really good money on the table because he's too high risk.
Exactly that. And, you know, prior to him getting that WBO shot with Andy Ruiz, it was a similar situation. Even though he had no losses at that stage, people knew that if they fight him, they have to beat him, otherwise they're taking a dip. They're going down in rankings. And being realistic, Joseph Parker's not easy to beat for anybody.
Yeah, it makes me laugh. I hear a lot of people talking down on Parker, and you know he's nothing, and he can't punch and all this. But the only guy who soundly beat him was AJ.
Yeah,
you know, Dillian White got gifted that he was gifted it. That second round, they gave him a 10-8 round off a head clash.
Yeah,
and Parker was winning that round 10-9 and winning it easy. And if they'd scored that round correctly, 10-9. That was a drawn fight. It was 6 rounds each with one legit knockdown each.
yeah.
And Dillian was 30 seconds from getting stopped.
Yeah, well, and
in
there's
that 12th
also
round.
If Joe had been given up to 5 minutes to recover after that head clash, would he still have been suffering the effects of concussion for the next 3 rounds? You know?
No, I know, man. It was, you know, he fought. And people say, "Oh, I've had guys say, oh, Parker, he's got no heart." And I said, well, if he had no heart, he wouldn't have picked himself up off the canvas when Dillian dropped him with that left hook. And what was it, the 8th round or something? I can't remember what round it was.
Yeah, it was the 8th or the 9th.
He would not. Yeah, he would not. He would not have picked himself up off the canvas and kept fighting if he had no heart.
No.
He could have laid down there, man. That left hook, he could have said, "I'm done here."
Yeah.
And he picked himself up and he kept going and then nearly knocked Dillian out. So that's heart.
Yeah, well, I think people
You
are
know?
getting heart confused with mongrel. You know, Joe could definitely do with some more mongrel,
Oh, definitely.
but I think he's got plenty of heart. I don't think there's any question there for me.
He dug deep in the Carlos Takam fight.
Yeah.
He dug deep in that fight. It wasn't easy. He could have quit. And he kept going, man.
Yeah, and, you know, he was same in the Ruiz fight. In both of those fights, he still had those bone chips in his elbows, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, man. And he kept trying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, as I say, yeah, I do agree. It frustrates me, actually. You know, they're just a bit more mongrel when he gets on the inside, man. Let those hands go. Get vicious in there.
Yeah. For sure.
You know, you got fast hands. You're a good combination puncher. So yeah, get into it. Get going. It's not like you got a glass jaw. Like if you had an Amir Khan jaw and you were concerned about engaging with your opponent, I could understand why.
Yeah.
But you know, when you got a chin like Parker's got, you can afford to get in there and, you know, take a little chance here and there.
For sure. All right, so I think Erkin Tepa had a fight over the weekend. Better look at that, actually. Seen Boxing Square mention something about that.
But Marius Wox fought quite a few people, eh?
Oh yeah, he's been in there with heaps of guys, man.
At his record, and yeah, I would actually, to be honest, man, I probably would have preferred seeing Marius Wox than seeing this other guy.
Yeah, for entertainment value, I would rather have seen Wok as well, but career-wise, Wok doesn't make a lot of sense for me because he doesn't have a ranking full stop. He's got what is it? 4 out of his last 6 fights he's lost.
Yeah, he's on the slide.
He's on the slide and he's older, but you know this other opponent that Joe's got isn't a spring chicken either. He's 39 years old.
And the problem is that if Parker, blasts this guy out, people are going to say, so what?
Exactly.
But if Parker doesn't blast him out, people are going to slag Parker off and say he's a hype job. So he really hasn't got that much to gain, from this fight. And like, sure, he'll get the guy's WBA ranking, which is I think number 14. But the problem is, how long will it take Parker to get to the WBA's number 1 ranking? It could take him a couple of years, and he's only got 2 or 3 years left, and he's ranked number 2 with the WBO anyway.
Yep.
So it's a fight that there's not a lot in it for Parker, really.
No. The only positive I could see out of this fight is, well, there's 2 small positives. There's, like you say, that WBA ranking you could get in there, and possibly a knockout for the highlight reel. But like you say, it's an opponent that no one knows, so people will be saying, so what? But Joseph Parker hasn't had a knockout since Alexander Dimitrienko. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. And you have to wonder, is Parker going to show any rust? Like, I watched the fight with Kell Brook over the weekend.
Yep. And
he didn't fight badly, anything like that. But, you know, he looked a little bit rusty at times. And he'd been out, I think, 14 months. And, you know, Parker hasn't had a fight in a while against a quality opponent. You wonder how sharp he'll look.
Yeah. He has been spending some time sparring Tyson Fury in Vegas, so that could be helpful. But, you know, sparring's always different to a real fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure Tony Yoka's probably been in camp with Joe as well. He seems to be a regular stayer. I don't think Malik Scott's been in with him this time because he's been in Deontay Wilder's camp with Junior Farr as well. So I don't know who he's had in camp, but I did see, actually I saw a picture of him on Facebook with he's had Carlos Takam in camp. That's who he's had.
Yes, that's right. I saw the photo of that.
Yeah. So that's not a bad sparring partner to prepare for Shondell Winters, because they're very similar size. I think Winters is actually considerably quicker than Takam though. But Takam has much better footwork and he's a wily old dog and knows lots of tricks. So I don't know. I do hope he's not going to show any ring rust, because this Winters guy does have a very good overhand right and a quick jab. So, you know, it's possible Joe could get put down in this fight if he shows a bit of rust or doesn't take the opponent serious enough. But in all realism, I think it's going to be like a 5th or 6th round stoppage in Joe's favour for me.
Yeah. I'm just reading an article here, and Kevin Barry said they almost had Robert Helenius signed before Joe even came back into camp.
I heard that too, but he
That-
he must have got a better offer to fight Kovnarski. Must have been better money, so he's taking that one
And
instead.
he said they reached out to Gerald Washington and Christian Hammer and Erkin Tepper to no avail.
Okay.
Marius Wack ruled himself out.
Is that right?
It looked like we were going to get Marius Wack, but he ruled himself out. Jeez.
That kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, considering he flew over to America from Poland
No.
to say he was going to be ready for the announcement. So,
Yeah,
mm,
bizarre.
that is really bizarre. I have to do some more research on that one. That's real weird. Okay, so Erkin Tepper I was looking at. Oh,
Yeah, all
yes.
we can hope for
Sorry, where you go?
is for Parker just to get this fight out of the way, and then I think he's still got one fight left with Hearn. I think after
This one, yeah. He's got one more fight on his Matchroom DAZN deal, and then he can do whatever he wants. And if he doesn't get a good fight after this Winters fight, presuming he wins, I would expect him to get on his bike and go elsewhere. And I've said it,
may as well.
yeah, I've said it a few times. I wouldn't mind him signing with Top Rank right now. He's already had that connection in the past. And they had a co-promotion deal with Duco that never got utilised. And Top Rank have a pretty decent heavyweight stable. I would love to see Joseph Parker fight Oscar Rivas or Ajit Kabiel. Screw Pulev.
Yeah, the Rivas.
Yeah, don't want to see him fight Pulev. That's just a dumb fight.
Oscar Rivas would be a good fight.
Yeah, man.
That'd be a really good fight.
And of course, there's Tyson, but unless Joe gets right up there and forces a mandatory or, becomes number one in every governing body, I don't see him fighting Tyson. Tyson's put out his wish list for who he wants to fight. So, I think it was, who did Tyson say? Dillian White, Anthony Joshua.
Looking at, hey, what happened with Charlo? Have you heard anything about Charlo and Andrade? Any more news?
Little Charlo.
Yeah, Jamal Charlo. Yeah, against Andrade.
Or Jamil. Yeah.
Any news about
I haven't seen anything. I did see something yesterday in an article. I didn't actually read it. Andrade.
I heard it was about $7 million, wasn't it, for that fight they offered? Really
Apparently
disappointing.
so. Yeah, that was to Jamil, not Jamal. Jamil's the smaller one. And apparently, Jamil answered the email and said, I'll have to talk to Al and I'll get back to you. And nothing came back. So Al put the kibosh on it.
So it wasn't Jamal Charlo.
No, it was Jamil, the smaller one at 154, because Andrade's at 54, is he? Or is he at 60? No, he's at 60, isn't he?
He's at 160.
Oh, it must have been Jamal then.
So
Must have
it's
been the big one.
Jamal, the big one, Jamal Charlo. Yep, $7 million apparently, and they said in with Demetrius Andrade, with his contract with DAZN, he is allowed to go and fight on another network, but as long as when he comes back, his next fight is back on DAZN.
Correct.
So if Jamal didn't want to fight on DAZN, Andrade could go and fight on Showtime or Fox.
Yeah.
So really disappointing that didn't happen.
I wonder if was there a change in his contract, or was that how he signed up? Or maybe the offer that was sent was for DAZN only. I don't know. Oh,
No. I think, from my understanding, Demetrius Andrade's his latest contract with DAZN that he just renewed, he's allowed to go and fight on the other network. So they said to Charlo, well, let's have the fight. I heard it was $7 million, and they said, well, you can come to DAZN. If you can't come to DAZN, we can come to you.
okay. And that offer was given after Andrade renewed his contract, because before he renewed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if it was before, he wasn't able to go and fight anywhere else at that stage, I believe.
Yeah. Now he's got that freedom, and
Yeah.
so it's a real shame. A real shame, man.
Well, what do you do? If you offer $7 million, more money than Charlo's earned in a single fight in his career, and he still turns it down. And Andrade's willing to go onto his network to do it. He still turns it down. Well, he don't.
There's
want to
nothing you
fight.
can do.
He's scared.
Yeah, man.
He's scared.
Yeah, man. Oh, it was a duck.
Yeah.
It was a duck. There's nothing else you can call it. There's no doubt about it.
Sadness.
And I heard someone made a comment. They reckon that Charlo said something like, "Who's Demetrius Andrade?" And it's like, well, he's a fucking WBA title holder. He's undefeated. I mean, that's who he is. And it's a chance for you to get in the ring with him and fight for a unification. Make some good money doing it.
Yeah.
Jeez, you don't want it?
That's sad.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sad, man.
Oh well. You want to sit in PBC and only fight PBC fighters and not make the most money that you possibly can in your career? Go ahead. You're only hurting yourself, Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, man. You're going to end up with just no legacy.
Whatsoever.
That's the end game. No legacy for the guy, man.
Yep. All we
Got someone in the chat. Hey guys, what do you think of Cal Brook versus DeLuca? I thought Cal Brook looked solid. You know, it's what you could expect from a comeback fight.
Nothing to write home about, you know. It was pretty much what everyone expected, I thought. I watched the fight and thought, yeah, DeLuca showed some good heart, but he got outclassed, and I think he needs to hang him up, Mark DeLuca. But, yeah, can Cal Brook obtain another title? I don't know. He's fighting at 154, right? So, who would he have to beat to get a title? J-Rock.
What weight is he? 154.
I think he's fighting at 154, yeah. It's not J-Rock anymore, it's Jason, what's his name? Where's the rankings? Gotta find him. Lightweights. Super middle, no, that's 168. Middleweight's 160.
There, Jono, you cut out a little bit.
I'm here. You hear me?
Yep.
Sweet. Alright, we have...
It cuts out a little bit and then comes back.
I'm not sure. Might be my PC needs a clean up. So...
Weight class was Cal Brook fighting at?
I'm sure he had a couple of fights that we fought Canelo at 160. He's gone back down to what, 154, I'm sure of it. Jason Rosario, Erislandy Lara, and Patrick Teixeira. I'd never heard of that dude.
53 3/4 for this last fight. Interesting. Let's see. So he's Cal Brook, Jamal Charlo. That'll be interesting.
Jamil Charlo, he's at 154. That works. I'd watch that fight.
Definitely.
The
Tony Harrison Jamal Charlo fight was a good one.
Yeah, well, Cal Brook could even fight Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison. Yeah. Jared Hurd. He could fight Jared Hurd. With Jared Hurd's new style, I think Cal Brook could have a good chance of winning that fight.
Brooks ranked 10th with the WBC.
Yeah, he's down. He hasn't
Based
been
on the
fighting
rankings,
much, so Erickson Lubin, he could fight him. They're all PBC fighters, though, so it didn't help. There's plenty of fights out there for Cal if he can get them. And I saw an article just before I jumped on from Cal Brook saying Amir Khan is a waste of time. I want belts. So I think the time for Amir Khan versus Cal Brook has gone.
Don't know why Amir Khan keeps fighting. His chin's so weak. I mean, he's so vulnerable, eh?
He needs to fight at like 130 or 135 to be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. 147, even he just keep getting sparked. 140 he could do. I guess there's not a lot of high-level fighters at 140 at the moment. Maybe he could have a chance of getting a belt there. But even if he does, it's only a matter of time before someone touches his chin and he's back in La La Land.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a quick look on boxing scene, see if we've got any new stories that have broken while we're on here before we think about wrapping it up. What do we got here? Josh Warrington versus Shakur Stevenson talks. Okay, let's get it. I don't know why they write a story about it in talks, because it's just giving us false hope. Fury Joshua fight would have to be in Vegas, not in UK.
Who was that?
Tyson Fury says a Joshua fight would have to be in Vegas, not in the UK. I heard him going on about this a few times.
Want to fight in the UK in front of 70,000 people?
Man, I think they should just go with whoever's offering the biggest money. You know, Saudi Arabia are putting out some big money for fights now. So,
Yeah, right.
you know, why not go there and take their money? They got plenty of it. What else have we got in the news here? Oh, Jason
What was
Velez.
it?
Jason Velez.
Tank Davis.
Where you go?
Tank Davis. What an idiot, mate.
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah. Choking his baby mama in Florida. He's gone to court. He's got a deposition hearing scheduled for what is it, the 3rd of March or something like that. So he's going to find out whether he's going to be in trouble or not. It's only a simple assault charge though.
Yeah, he really won't go to. It's just a bad look for him, man.
He's turning into Adrian
Terrible
Broner
look.
2.0.
Yeah, man. Oh,
Sad. He's surrounding himself with the wrong
it's like
people.
you're doing it in public too, man. What are you thinking? How do you think it's going to turn out, man? You know?
Yeah.
God.
Muppet. I'm just gonna switch over from my phone, from my computer to my phone, and see if that stops it jumping around. Mate.
Yeah, keep
give me a
jumping
sec.
around, eh? You keep.
Yeah, give me a sec here. You hear me now, brother?
No, that sounded good.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Sweet. That sounds better.
Yeah, it kept cutting out, eh? I thought I was missing parts of what you were saying.
I think it's my streaming software slows my computer down, and I've got to do a cleanup or some shit. I'll get it sorted. Not jumping around now.
Oh, no, it's good, man.
Sweet. Maybe I'll just use my phone for my mic next time around. Alright, is there any other subjects you'd like to bring up while the floor's clear?
Oh, I can't think of anything else really. We've covered most of the stuff. What fights are coming up this month? We've talked about Parker. We've talked about Fury and
we've got the Dempsey McKean Jonathan Rice fight and the Kalnaki versus Hellenius fight on the 7th of March. That's a few weeks away.
What about AJ? When's AJ Pulev scheduled for?
I don't think it's actually
May?
scheduled yet. They were talking about late April, but I'm hearing that it's going to be June now. So they're pushing it right out. So Joshua, if he beats Pulev, which he should, won't be fighting again until just before Christmas. And
Usyk or Chisora,
yeah,
whoever wins.
so I mean, I would have liked to have seen AJ try and get 3 fights in this year to try and clear out his Mandos. So the possibility of undisputed is more likely than what it is right now. You know. Like,
Yeah, I mean, all these top guys seem to be fighting twice a year, eh?
Mm,
It's just you just don't seem to see too many of them.
yeah. I mean, 3 times a year is good. I think a good amount for most fighters.
It is. Yeah, it's busy, but it's not too busy. You're not going to burn yourself out.
Yeah, particularly guys that are, under 30 years old as well. I can understand fighters over 30 cutting it down to twice a year or even once a year, but prize fighting in your prime, get it done while you can, because Father Time's going to beat you sooner or later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saying lost and won. Is he getting both Mandos for sure? I think AJ is getting. He's not going to be made to drop the IBF or WBO belts. I think it has been confirmed he's going to be able to keep those 2.
well, if he fights Pulev and then gives Wilder an offer, provided Wilder beats Fury, and they start making a fight,
Then
an undisputed fight, there could be a problem with the WBO then.
Yeah, there could be.
And like I say, there's also the WBA Mando coming in March too. They're supposed to be announcing who's going to be the Mando. Is it going to be Trevor Bryan? Is it going to be Manuel Charr? I think it's probably going to be Trevor Bryan. Nobody wants to see that fight either. It's another one like the IBF. Nobody really wants to see Pulev versus Joshua, do they? Are you excited?
I
about
don't
that one?
know. I don't. It's just I'm resigned to it. You know it's happening and it's a mandatory. You just got to suck it up. Hopefully he'll knock him over pretty easy, get him out of the way, and then I certainly want to see the Usyk fight. That'll be an interesting one. I'd even love to see Chisora AJ. That'd be a good UK scrap.
That's a good shout. I've never really thought about that. A
Imagine
lot of
if-
people will say, "Oh, Chisora's got too many losses to be relevant at all," but he's been on a pretty good run recently. That spectacular knockout of Spilka, and he gave a good account of himself against White. He was winning that fight until he got knocked out. So
He knocked Takam out.
he knocked Takam out of beauty, didn't he? So he's got some power there, and if he can get to AJ's chin, I think he could certainly cause some problems.
Oh, he could, He could, man.
But then again, if
So,
AJ puts that big man strategy into practice again, like he did against Ruiz, then Chisora could end up getting a beating like he did against Vitali.
Yeah, he'll get sparked. He'll get sparked. He'll get knocked out by AJ, I think. Yeah.
But it'll still be entertainment.
Oh, it'll be a great fight. I'm interested in Chisora. I mean, Chisora Usyk's going to be very interesting because Usyk is as good as he is. He hasn't fought anybody at heavyweight. Chisora's going to come at him. He's going to be all over him, eh? He's going to put a lot of pressure on. So it'll be interesting to see how Usyk takes the heavyweight punches, and just how he deals with a bigger man coming at him. Yeah, it'd be good.
Yep, definitely. Usyk fighting a couple of super heavyweights in the World Series of Boxing. Those guys, in my opinion, don't hit anywhere near as hard as Derek Chisora does. Even Joe Joyce, I don't think hits anywhere near as hard as Chisora. So if Chisora can get to Usyk's chin there, we're going to see something we might not have seen before. Usyk really hurt.
Yeah, man. I've got Scott 70 here. He said, I've got Usyk beating AJ, but getting robbed on the cards. I got AJ beating Usyk on points.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards AJ on points as well. Well, actually, I've got to think about that one a bit more, I think. Because if it goes to points, there's no doubt I think Usyk would have put out a hell of a lot more punches than Joshua. I think Joshua might have to knock Usyk out to beat him.
Yeah, I was hoping. Well, I would like to see Joshua come in at 237 again for Usyk. Come in light and mobile.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him come in big and heavy.
If he's going to employ that strategy like he did against Ruiz, he's going to have to improve it though, because Ruiz doesn't have the feet, does he? Usyk's got.
Oh, that's right. Usyk does. Yeah.
Got those Ukrainian dancing feet like Loma, so it's a big difference. And even that performance that Joshua put in against Ruiz, it was good to see him have other tools in his box, but I could certainly see a lot of holes in it still. Ruiz did get to him a couple of times, particularly I think it was the 8th round. But I think at that stage Joshua thought maybe Ruiz had slowed down a bit, so he was relaxing a bit and trying to knock him out. If he does that against Usyk, he could be in trouble.
It's going to be interesting. What's Usyk's reach? About 78? I think he's about 78 inch reach.
Yep.
Yeah, 6'3". Yeah.
Yep. So it's all going to be about Usyk's speed and his feet to be able to get to Joshua, really, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. If he can't get inside, he's going to get cooked.
But then again, if Joshua decides to go to town and just try and monster him, could Usyk handle it? I don't think he hits as hard as Andy Ruiz. So
that's the thing. If Usyk actually have effective punching power against a top heavyweight? That's something that we just don't know yet. I mean, you could have a situation with AJ where AJ's beating him from the outside, and when Usyk gets in and hits AJ, nothing happens. And that's going to be very difficult for Usyk at that point, because when he's inside with AJ's got that uppercut. So it's going to be dangerous for Usyk on the outside and on the inside. So it'll be a great fight. It'll be a huge fight. It'll do really great pay-per-view.
Yeah, man. It's going to be awesome. You probably won't see that till December, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've got to wait all year.
Yeah. Christmas is coming. Let's hope it comes quick. Nobody's excited about Pulev.
Oh, no, it's a stinker, mate. Stinker of a fight.
So, yeah. This Efra Jugba is going to be fighting Razvan Kajanu on that undercard of Kalnacki versus Helenius. Another heavyweight dust up to look out for. I don't think Kajanu's going to win, but depending on what strategy he employs, it could end up going the distance. Maybe, I don't know.
He's been coughing some losses, Kajanu.
Yes.
Boy, I looked at his record the other day and I didn't realise how many losses he started racking up. I think a judge will knock him out, actually.
It's Kajanu's last loss to Ortiz.
Jose Moore, I think.
Oh, yeah, Daniel Dubois. Got fucking sparked by him, too. Come up. The people called Razvan Kajanu.
And then go down and what do we got here? Kajanu. Here we are. Boys, 6 losses, 3 stoppages. Lost to Nathan Gorman, lost to Dubois, lost to Ortiz, lost to Parker. Had 4 losses in a row. Boy.
Didn't he fight Dubois? Oh, he did. Yeah, okay.
Second round stoppage against Dubois. Lost to Gorman
he had
on
a
points.
win in there. His last fight, he had a win.
Yeah.
Against a nobody.
Yeah.
Who was 15-13. One draw. Far out.
Yeah,
he's
been getting hammered, Kajanu.
Starting to rack him up now. It's funny with him, when he's in sparring partner mode, like he was against Joseph Parker, he's not very vulnerable, but when he actually tries to win a fight, he gets knocked out.
Yeah, he does. He fought. People gave Parker shit, but Kajanu just didn't show up to win. He just didn't try. He
not
just
at all.
didn't. He hardly threw.
I think there was only one round he actually tried, and he had some success. I think it was like round 11 or something. He had a bit of success in that one round, but the rest of the rounds it was just hands up, walk forward, come on, hit me. Is that the best you got? So,
Hot 70 thought Kajanu took a dive against Dubois. I haven't seen that fight. I'll have to check that out. I'm hoping it's on YouTube.
I'm trying to think. I thought he got pretty much sparked in that fight.
Yeah.
Am I thinking of the Gorman fight? Maybe I'm thinking of.
I'll have to check out Kajanu Dubois. Hopefully it's on YouTube. It'll be a second round stoppage, I think it says. Dubois. Yeah, second round KO.
Yeah, I'm sure I remember that. I found the fight. Better not let the audio play. Fight. Damn it. To add. That's right. Here we go. I'll light up. Just having a quick look at the end here. Got caught with a left hook, then a body shot. Hey, that's not even Razvan Kajanu, that's someone else. No, it's not, it is Raz. He went down, he's on the ground, he's not sparked, he's lying there. He's complaining about getting hit behind the head. But he was ducking down against the ropes. It looks like he may have decided not to get up.
Is it on YouTube? Have you?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Excellent. I'll check that out.
He's in the corner. He's actually throwing back against Dubois. Gets caught with a big left hook that smacked his head back. And Dubois hit him with a body shot. Then an overhand right, and that drops him down. He's lying down pretty much underneath the ropes and tries to get up, but almost falls over. So I don't think it was like he didn't take a dive, I don't think. He was struggling to try and get up. And that's all we got. But he was certainly trying against Dubois. And like I was saying, when he tries, he leaves himself open a lot more. And there's opportunities for his opponent to knock him the fuck out. The worst knockout he's taken is against a nobody. Was it Byron Pooley? No, it wasn't Byron Pooley. Who was it? The worst knockout he took. Find it. Oh, it was a southpaw guy. I can't remember. Top of my head. Never mind. Are you still there, Marla?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Oh, yeah, all good. But yeah, I don't think Raz is going to beat Ajagba by any means, but how raw Ajagba is.
Got the power of Jugba though, eh? I think he will spark him.
He's got the power and he's got pretty good stamina. He's got shitty footwork and his defense has a lot to be desired, but he hasn't really come up against the opponents he has to use it against, except for the Ali Randamirazan. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight run back. It would do wonders for Ajagba's development, I think. Or at least someone along those lines.
You wonder why Ajagba's not improving?
Yeah,
it's sort of like, I wouldn't be so concerned if he was making mistakes and then correcting them in the next fight. I wouldn't be so concerned.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he's not improving, and he's got a good trainer there. So it's hard to understand You know, if he's
I
not
think he's
listening
the-
to his trainer, or
Is this trainer Ronnie Shields, I think?
yeah, Ronnie Shields.
I'm not sure, actually.
It is, yeah, Ronnie Shields.
Yeah. So he's a well-renowned trainer for sure, but maybe the connection between the fighter and the trainer isn't that great or something. I don't know. This, like you say, he just doesn't seem to be improving much. So hard to put your finger on it. Looking at the event that the fight's on, for Adam Kovnarski, of course, we've got Frank Sanchez. I've seen him fight a few times. He's 14-0, and he's going to be fighting Joey Dawejko. So that could be interesting, that fight, because Joey Dawejko is a tricky little son of a gun at times. There were 3 heavyweight fights at the top of the card, so that's good. Robert Alfonso, I've seen him too. He's another heavyweight. Holy shit. Are they all heavyweights? No, we've got a super lightweight fight on there and a middleweight fight, but all the rest are heavyweight fights on that March 7th PBC card.
Very exciting. I love those cards full of heavyweights.
That's awesome. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavyweight fights on that card, and there's only 7 fights on there. So that's going to be a good one.
It's the 7th of March.
7th of March, yeah, it'll be the 8th over here. And there is a fight that we'll, well, I don't know if we will get to see it. There's no televising of it in New Zealand that I know of. I think
Sky have been getting better though, eh?
They have, with a few American and UK cards. The one I want to see is this Dempsey McKean versus Jonathan Rice fight that's going to be in the Gold Coast in Australia. Apparently, I saw on Boxing Squared's video, you can buy a pay-per-view online for $19, but I don't know if I'm willing to pay $19 to see one fight. I don't know what else is on the cards. I'm going to look that up right now. Dempsey McKean. And I also think that fight's pretty interesting, because if Dempsey McKean isn't up to scratch, Jonathan Rice will beat him on points. But card now, see who else is on here. Probably nobody I recognise on the card. The main event is Jacob how do you say that? Jacob Ing.
I think it's Ing.
Jacob Ing. Valentine Hokawa is the guy he's fighting. That's the main event. I don't know either of these guys. Actually, I think I've heard of that Ing guy before, but I don't know who he is. McKean Rice is the second fight down on the card. I'm looking for anybody else I recognise on here. Liam Parrow, no, I don't know him.
It'd be great if Sky did a standalone boxing channel.
They should, even if it's not running live stuff all the time. They could run replays in between the live events.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Yeah, I think they might be surprised on how well it'll do, considering Sky is pretty much dying in New Zealand anyway.
Yeah, they're trying to pick it up, eh? You know, they're starting to be a bit more flexible with the packages they offer, and they got the streaming service going and things like that. And you know, they've got to, like, they used to make you buy a big package.
Yeah,
and I think they're starting to become a bit more flexible about that, because they realise that people don't just want to have to buy one big package. You know, they've sort of. But
I investigated about getting Sky a few times a few years ago, and if you wanted to pay for the sport channel along with the subscription when you get all the free stuff, it used to be like $90, but now it's only like $54 or something a month now, isn't it? So
Netflix was hammering them, man. But the CEO they had was sort of like, he was an older. I don't think he was really. He wasn't up with the play. He didn't understand streaming. He didn't understand, you know, the modern sort of world. And this new CEO they've got, he's a bit more clued up on it. You know, they're
Yeah.
starting to make a few changes.
Yeah. Pay channels down here have to compete with like Netflix and Lightbox, and there's even more. There's Spark Sport coming out now as well. They're taking a lot of the contracts off Sky, so they're going to have to do something drastic to stay alive, or they're going to be history. And I think.
Yeah, mate. They know it too, eh? They know it, man.
Yeah.
They know they're in
I think
trouble.
even-
They waited too long. They just waited too long before they faced up to the reality and decided to do something.
Yeah. I think the same sort of thing is going to happen with Sky in the UK as well. You know, they've still got a pretty good subscription base right now, but with all these streaming services coming in, it's making pay TV, like cable TV, obsolete, really, isn't it?
If people just want to watch what they want to watch,
Yeah.
where people like to just watch like one event, they don't really want to have to join up and have a big expensive membership.
That's right. And with all these other services, you can go and pay for one event at
Oh,
a
that's
smaller
so-
price. Get it done.
And you look,
It's like-
you look at the price of Netflix. You know what you pay a month, cheap, so cheap.
$14 a month.
Yeah, and you got this quality, so much quality there to watch.
Yeah.
You know, you go get Sky and pay $100 a month. Oh, it's like, man.
Screw that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just looking at this Dempsey McKean card, looking for a television. No television on here, but I did hear Boxing Squared talk about where it's going to be televised, and you can buy the card for $19.95. And I think that's wherever you are in the world. So it might be on Main Event or something like that. I might have to go back and check. Or you can always go over to Boxing Squared's video to check it out yourself. Great channel over there. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's probably us for today, brother.
It's been a couple of hours, I think. Jeez,
Yeah.
flown by.
All right. So, big thank you to Marla for tuning up as usual.
Yep.
In the chat, we've got Scott70, another faithful. Who else we got in here? Last one. Thanks for coming in, bro. Who else we got in here? Trying to do a bit of a roll call before we get out.
Been a pleasure, boys.
Hey!
All right.
Rival Boxing Talk turns up just as we're about to shut it down, but that's
I've been
all
here
good.
for like 8 minutes while you were talking.
Sorry, bro. You should have just
Nah,
popped
that's
up.
cool, bro.
I'm on my phone, so wasn't looking at it. It's locked. Yeah, you would have enjoyed some fights over the weekend. Which was your favorite fight there, brother?
Arboleda versus Jason Velez.
Good man. That for me.
First
that
fight up
was-
on the undercard of the PBC. It was an absolute banger. If you haven't seen
Yeah.
it, go watch it. To everybody.
Definitely. The other two fights kind of paled in comparison, really. Entertainment.
The
wise
Rigondeaux
anyway.
fight was the Rigondeaux fight. The first round was hilarious, and then the rest of the fight, I nearly fell asleep. And the third fight on that card, it was okay. It was alright. Other than that, the Sky card was alright. Like, it wasn't anything special. Good fights, but all in all, like, it was just an okay weekend of boxing. But that the last fight was the standout.
Yeah. The show. Who did you have? Did you actually score that fight?
I kind of felt that I was okay with the decision, but I felt like I think Velez won by a point. I didn't actually score it, but I felt like he won by a point, but a split decision either way is like, it was close, you know? It was close, but I felt he nicked it by a point.
I
they drop.
didn't actually score it myself, and I wasn't arguing with the decision, but I thought before it was coming out, it could have gone either way. I thought it was that
Well,
close.
I felt it was about 6-6, and with the knockdown,
Made
might
the
be a
difference,
point, you know? Man,
Yeah,
really close fight. Really good fight.
it was. I mean, the defensive skills from either guy wasn't anything to write home about or anything like that, but certainly was entertaining. I mean, over 1,800 punches thrown in a fight. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
But you can't really go wrong with 12 rounds of two guys slugging it out. One guy throws big bombs, the other guy like throwing combinations, neither guy with any defense.
Yeah.
And both guys got chins.
Yeah. Big time. They both copped a lot of shots, man. It was awesome.
There was a lot of clean punches in that fight, like a lot of clean landed punches. So one guy goes down, it's always hilarious.
Is there any fights next weekend off the top of your head that you're looking forward to?
No, the weekend's dead. I think, like to what I remember. I know that Caleb Plant is fighting against Fagan Boots or Hans Berger.
Walk
You know?
in the park.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially the only major fight next weekend, to my knowledge. I can't think of anything offhand though, and that's not even a major fight. That's bad. That's bad.
So we can all have a crazy weekend. Get ready for the weekend after, which is gonna be our doozy.
The next
Because
2
of one.
weeks, everybody needs to get. You know, there hasn't been a lot of fight leading up to it, but I believe there's a little bit of hype starting to creep in now. You know, I think there is. I think, especially for me, like, and I don't know what it is. I have my prediction. I'm gonna be doing it soon, but I'm really convinced on who's gonna win. Like, I'm actually like 100% on it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, last time it was 100% on something. It was AJ Ruiz too, but the last time before that I was 100% on something was AJ Ruiz won. So until the final day, so things can change your mind. But no, I'm pretty convinced on who wins. I've been just watching a lot of tape. I've actually been watching a lot of press conferences and interviews of both guys throughout their careers and looking at body language, and I've been taking like screenshots of like their faces and how they look physically and everything. And one guy looks a lot different leading into this fight. So that's pretty telling to me, and I think it's in a positive way. In a very positive way, because it reminds me of a specific fight that he had. His mentality, everything he was talking about, how he was going, just a lot different. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor. And I think the body language of the end of the fight tells you who's going to win this fight. If you look at the body language of both men at the end of that fight, I think that tells you who'll win this fight.
Yeah.
Fury's going to do it?
And one was I think he's going to actually... People might not think I'm serious. I think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to... But not the way he's saying. I think he's going to do it a la Derek Chisora too. I think he's going to come out, box a bit, and then when Wilder comes in, he's going to counter him, hurt him. And then he's going to step off and make Wilder overcommit. And he's going to try and force Wilder quickly to becoming desperate instead of being calm, because we know Wilder wants to come in calm. So Fury's going to try and change Wilder's mindset, become more desperate, force Wilder to overcommit, and I think Fury's going southpaw. I've seen some little things that lead me to think that he's going to be going southpaw. Just as simple as little shadow boxing sessions and where his feet are.
Not surprising to me at all, but I'm wondering how many changes are going to, you know, how much different is Tyson Fury going to be having Sugar Hill and, you know, being a little bit heavier and beating off 7 times a day and all this sort of crap that he's talking about.
He ain't beating off 7 times a day. Watch the Garrett A. Davis interview. It's a brilliant interview. Urge everybody to watch it. Only went up yesterday. Just go to Garrett Davis's YouTube channel. It's 30 minutes. It's actually the best interview I've seen with Tyson Fury, and probably the most honest interview I've seen with Tyson Fury in 10 years.
Yeah, I watched that interview and I took a lot from that as well. I did play a little bit of it on a stream, but like Unrivaled says, recommend to go and watch it. Gareth Davis, I think the title of it was called Bare Knuckle Tradition, something like that. Bare Knuckle Tradition.
I'll get you the name of it right now. Give me one moment. So I've got YouTube up so I can go check. Right.
Sweet.
Garrett Davis. type channel.
Scott
Great,
Simmons
Gareth
says,
Davies.
unrivaled in stealth mode, sitting there for 8 minutes.
Tyson Fury interviewed at his own house in Las Vegas.
Okay. There we go.
30
That's the
minutes
title.
of Gypsy King Gold.
Definitely
So-
worth a look, man. Okay, check
It
that
really
out.
is. Hey, Jono, did you take something away from that I seen? And I'll just ask you by just asking you that. Do you see a Tyson Fury who's pissed off with people saying, pretty much, long story short, that the dude isn't this and he isn't that, and he's kind of come to terms with the fact he's never going to get respect, but the purpose now is for him to respect himself no matter what? Did you get
Yeah.
that sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's what I got.
Definitely.
I think that's the scariest part for me. I think this is a guy whose whole purpose is just to prove everyone wrong.
It's like, oh, fuck you, then I'm going to do my thing. If you don't give me respect, I don't give a shit. But when he gets that type of mentality, he tends to talk a lot more serious, a lot less tongue-in-cheek bullshit. So check that interview out. It's a goodie.
He was asked about like the stuff to do with not being able to talk, and he said, "What's there to talk about?" Like he said, "I've already been in his head. I've lived there. You know,
Yeah.
I lived inside of his head. At this stage, that doesn't matter. He already knows. That's scary.
Mhm.
That's frightening to me."
I wonder what Wilder thinks about it, honestly. Not the persona he puts out in media, you know? If he's thinking, oh, this guy's actually serious and he's coming to win this time, what am I going to do differently? What can he
Wilder
do
can't-
differently?
Wilder can try to remain patient. That's his best chance at beating Tyson Fury. Patience. Patience is a virtue against a guy like that. It truly is. If he can't
Yeah.
remain patient, he's gonna lose. And it's easier said than done against a guy like him to remain patient. Because the longer
Definitely.
you remain patient, the more he's gonna grow into himself.
11 days to go.
Only 11.
Well, sorry, no, I'm wrong. It's the 10th here, so 12 days here. It'll be 13 actually days. Won't it?
13 days to go.
13 days. And then we've actually got 3 weeks of some heavyweight action anyway. So we've got that Vargas and Garcia card with Parker on it on the 29th. And then
Yeah.
we've got March 7th is Kalnaki Hellenius card and McKean and Rice card. So there's a bit going on. So enjoy your weekend off, boxing fans. And get ready for a month of good stuff.
Some great fights, actually. Some amazing fights to take place. I think
Yeah,
there's
man.
a true belter as well in the lower weight. Just saying.
Oh, is there?
I think your Foy and Chocolatito is taking place on that part
Oh.
of the card.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty good card, really, isn't it, that card?
Well, Vargas Garcia is competitive. Your Foy Chocolatito, your Foy is actually the betting favourite. Surprisingly enough.
Okay. Yeah. that's
So that
surprising.
fight's definitely going to be competitive. I mean, Fury Wilder's competitive, and I don't know if it's still confirmed or not, but Washington and Martin is gonna be an interesting fight.
Yep. There's
It's
some
gonna be
good money
interesting.
to be made on that one with odds.
I'm backing Martin in that one, actually.
Yeah.
Who's the favourite? Who is the betting favourite?
Look it up.
I haven't checked that.
I think
I
Martin
did
is the
check.
betting favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, Martin was the betting favourite a week ago.
I've been hoping the betting line will drift more and more in the UK because more people are familiar with Martin than Martin. So the more it drifts, the more likely it is I'm putting a bang for a buck down on Gerald. I think he's all wrong for Charles. Too much for him at range. Charles will try to come forward, but I think Gerald will catch him with that too often. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Jono, you still there?
Is he loud and clear for you, Muller?
Yes, good man.
Okay, must be me.
But yeah, no, I think Washington will take Martin, but
Yep.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I haven't been predicting fights very well for a while now. Been off it.
I missed most of that. You were picking Washington to stop him, were you?
I'm picking him to stop him mid rounds, yeah. I think Martin's
That's
gonna need
interesting.
to put out too much energy early on to deal with Washington, and I think that's the problem. I think Washington's gonna be the
Yeah.
counter puncher, and Martin's gonna be the come forward guy. Washington ain't gonna come forward against Martin,
No.
so Martin's
I can
gonna need
imagine-
to use a lot of energy early, and he'll get taken out mid rounds.
I can imagine Martin with Washington's record of few knockouts there. He's probably thinking he can try and get a spectacular knockout. And that could be his downfall, like you say. Blow him out. And Washington can hit hard. So
Very
it's a
hard.
possibility. Yeah. It's a possibility.
I actually think Jared Washington's one of the harder hitting heavyweights in the division.
He's got pretty good technique, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's that straight right hand. When it lands flush, it turns you. I don't think Charles Martin's that powerful. I think Charles Martin's actually a very good counter puncher, though. And the more you lean in, he can take you off. But if you're not there to be counter punched, he's not going to really look great. And his best performance is against Adam Kovnatsky. And I think everybody knows Adam Kovnatsky, he has no defense. And he's there to be punched.
Yeah.
A good fighter with his skill set, and it pretty much is just determination, chin, and come forward, isn't it? But Washington couldn't deal with that, but Charles Martin was there on the counter. But Charles is going to have to come forward here, and if you watch a lot of Charles's fights, he's very sloppy coming forward, and he swings his arms very wildly down from the sides, kind of like flapping slaps. And Washington, he's very composed in those type of situations. So I think Washington, I think he'll turn the screw in that fight.
Certainly a possibility. However, you know, Martin's gas tank that he showed against Kovnatsky was pretty impressive. I thought with the amount of punches he had to absorb in the earlier rounds, he still came on late and he did okay. I thought, you know, it was pretty impressive in itself, but
I feel that comes down to his mentality. I think if he's in the pocket where he's able to throw back with you, he's more comfortable. But if his energy, if you watch him against, who was his last fight against? What was the name of the guy? Cantony.
Phineas?
No.
No,
Martin's last
Martin.
opponent.
Martin.
Absolute trash can. Martz. Daniel
Yeah.
Martz. Now, if you look at him against Kovnatsky, you look at him against Martz, there's one massive difference. He's the one exerting the fight on Martz, right? And every time he steps forward and he throws his shots and he moves back, you can see him visibly breathing heavy, a lot more, because he's having to think a lot more about what he has to do. And I think that's a big thing with certain types of fighters in certain levels. The more you have to think about what you are doing, the more it actually will take out of you than just being able to autopilot. Charles Martin is a counter puncher. Watch all of his early fights. He fights on the counter.
hey, just while you mentioned Daniel Martz there, he's going to be fighting Simon Keane. I forgot about that one.
That's not too bad of a fight, you know.
Yeah, it could be competitive.
I think Keane will win that, but that's not too bad of a fight.
Yeah, it's on the
I mean,
21st of
Carmen was
March.
able to beat Keane, wasn't he? Carmen beat.
Yeah.
Why can't Daniel Martz beat Keane?
I don't know. Daniel Martz to me looks like a very uncoordinated, long, gangly guy who shouldn't be boxing to me, really. But
I
he's a
remember I
big
once
dude,
said
man.
that about. I remember I once said that about a guy called Iago Kaladze, right? Very, very
Okay.
uncoordinated, very sloppy, kind of all over the place, kind of like a spider on ice half the time. And
Yeah.
he nearly knocked out Efe. So
Yeah.
the heavyweight
People
division,
improve.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Daniel Martz. I'm thinking, I keep thinking Martin fought someone and got disqualified. Someone got disqualified against them. I thought that. Oh, that was Gregory Corbin, the guy before him. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was Corbin. The gift of the low blows.
That's right. Okay. Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting fight for sure. And like Marla and I were talking about earlier, that's got 5 heavyweight fights on that card. And there's only 7 fights on it. So it's a good card for us heavyweight fans. Don't miss it. It's going to be on, where are promotions? It's probably Fox, I imagine. Yeah, there it is. Fox Sports, it'll be on. Fox. And it'll be the Cheer New Zealand. Alright, so yeah, I'm running out of time and gonna have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for popping in late, Unrivaled. Appreciate that, brother.
Thanks for letting me on. Have a good one, boys.
No worries.
If you're new,
Man, have a good one. Yep.
Alright, everybody.
if you're new, watching on archive, if you're new, subscribe to the damn channel. Subscribe.
Yes, 103 to go. That's all we need.
Also, if you're listening right now and you haven't hit the like button because it really will help show other people the stream. So, help out.
Appreciate it. Alright, y'all. Thanks for joining me, and we will catch y'all next time. This is Big Boys Boxing, Unrivaled Boxing Talking News, and Marla2243, and we are out.
See you, man.